The word of this whole entire season is cop out. Like, oh my god. It is the end of an era. As much as I've enjoyed these past couple episodes and the fact that I've got to put them on YouTube and share in discussion with whoever wants to partake, I just have some questions for Netflix as they really fumbled multiple bags with this one. Of all the people that need to be accountable, of all the people that said, I take accountability and didn't really mean it, Netflix needs to take accountability for these questions. Why were the hosts over sympathizing with the villains so hard? Why are we being sold on Jackie and Josh as a couple? Like, we don't all hate them. Why wasn't Vanessa as tough on Jackie as she was on Paul? Like, Paul? Are you kidding me, Paul? Overthinker Paul, who can't even collect his words, Paul? And is Micah a wolf in sheep's clothing? Because, in my opinion, she only has villain friends. And everybody's all shocked when it's like, oh my god, Micah's so sweet, but she only surrounds herself with bad people. Maybe Micah just isn't a good person. Also, what was the dress code here? Some people are giving Oscars, some people are giving prom. To both of those, Paul is giving I'm too cool for a prom. Who told him to wear that? My name is Rusenica. Welcome to my casual YouTube channel. This is where we talk anything casual or monumental related to moments in life. And today it just happens to be Love is Blind. So we're going to talk about the standout and the spicy moments of this reunion, which will then encapsulate the whole entire season 4. So we get into the episode, which is a failed live reunion. And you know what? I really don't blame Netflix too hard for this, for it being a failed live reunion. I really don't. A lot of people like to express their outrage for Netflix because people just like to feel in power over criticizing something that is out of their control. I am not that upset about missing the live reunion. Honestly, they shouldn't have even made it live. I think somebody said this on one review I watched on YouTube. But them making it live sure created a bunch of hype and a bunch of buzz. But really, like, it just made everybody nervous. It just made it a little bit awkward and weird. They didn't need to make it live. Also, I think somebody from the Bachelor podcast pointed out, like, if you're gonna make it live, at least incorporate the audience. Maybe let's get some audience questions going, because honestly, the audience questions would have slayed so much harder than anything that came out of Vanessa's mouth. I'm gonna go hard on Vanessa on this one because she just really irritated me last episode. I feel like Love is Blind started off kind of being like, let's go with Nick and Vanessa Lachey, like they host, right? They host. So then we just are kind of experiencing Nick and Vanessa because we're like, they're celebrities. I guess they fit. They're a couple. It's a love show. But we need somebody who goes hard. Honestly, I feel like, hear me out. I feel like, seriously, just for a second, hear me out. I really feel like this show is not below Oprah. Let's get Oprah in the pods because she would be hitting the hard hitting questions and she'd really give it to them, I feel like. Because Oprah doesn't shy away from this, okay? And I feel like Oprah would kind of appreciate this as a little opportunity because I think the young people don't really know Oprah's impact, but she would be about this and she would kill it, okay? Yeah, let's get Oprah in this and let's get Nick and Vanessa Lachey out. Because what was that? So we get into the episode talking about Kwame, Chelsea, and I always forget her name, Micah. That stupid tired love triangle conversation. Oh my god, it was so tired after the second minute that we after you hear about it for more than like a minute, you're like, oh my god, let's get to the real tea though. Let's get to the tea. We just like saw this and ingested all of this story. There's no need to rehash it with like words that have already been said multiple times by these people. Like, we all get it. We're all interested in the tea, but like, unless you were going to provide a new perspective, it's not worth going over again. Yeah, they could have put together something else with the whole Kwame Chelsea Micah thing. They could have given us some meat, some potato, something. Another thing that was tired. Also, I'm gonna be like bouncing around. Yeah, the baby conversation is tired. I feel like for such a progressive show, for such a unconventional show when it relates to dating and marriage, from people who have tried the conventional way and are like just over it and kind of like in their 30s. I just feel like the baby question is inappropriate in my, and that might be dramatic. Like it's not appropriate. It's just not appropriate for them to ask. But basically, like these people are so new to this type of a love that it's like, why are we asking the baby question? The baby question is such an old question. Just weird, uncomfortable, such uncomfortable, weird vibes from this reunion. Wow. Irina. Irina came to the reunion with a script and she read it. She had every single one of her lines memorized for all of the moments that she knew was going to be brought up. And she probably honestly took a note from Twitter. I think this all the time whenever I think about reality TV stars responding to the public. I'm like, I know you probably just like went through Twitter or YouTube or TikTok, and for your apology, probably just use the strongest things that you saw in your apology. Like if somebody tweeted out, Irina manipulates everybody she sees around her and she doesn't think with her emotions. She's fueled by drama. Irina would then come on and probably did come on and say, I know everybody thinks that I'm manipulative. I'm not. I grew up in a very manipulative space and in a very manipulative environment. And I used to be fueled by drama, but I'm not anymore. It's not who I am. Like, we would have so much more respect for you if you were like, honestly, this is who I am. Like, I don't get the fuss about it. I'm funny. I'm likable. I'm hilarious. The girls who get me, and the girls who don't, don't. Like, I wish that she had just like come out and done that. Because watching Irina's like apology and her being like, for the first minute that she's being brought up, and then Nick and Vanessa don't even say anything. She's just like, I need a minute. I need a minute? Did you not just have like several hours in the backstage? Did you not like already have a moment to collect yourself? Like have you had multiple moments to collect yourself and all of a sudden you're coming out on the stage like about to cry. You're a liar. I don't even think that Irina would legitimately cry over something unless it was something that truly was so shallow and so ego shattering to her. Also, the fact that the tears didn't even come out, Irina came with the script and she read it. Like, and also, as much as I hated Nick and Vanessa, Nick was right. Like, we have to commend her bravery because she came on knowing that she was just going to be hated on. I don't think that she thought that this reunion was going to change her public perception. So, really, like, it is bold of somebody to come on and just to be like, you know what? They're going to hate me, but I'm going to do it anyways. Especially because, oh my God, I called it. I did. I said Jackie's not going to show up to the reunion, and what did she not do? Show up to the reunion. I didn't say that about Irina because I see Irina, see right through her. So one of the reasons why Jackie didn't come to the reunion that she said that I looked at on her Instagram was that she was getting death threats, and that is a very credible reason not to come to an event. But the thing is when people like me, who are just regular viewers, can predict that you're not gonna come before you were like scared or whatever, before like all this, I don't feel like it maybe was because of death threats. I feel like that might even be a little bit of a cop out, which is like the word of this whole entire season is cop out. Like, oh my God, crazy. The amount of cop outs this season. Even one thing that Chelsea said, I'm also getting a little bit ahead of myself. I'm just like so excited to talk about this. The one thing that Chelsea said in relation to her and Kwame's relationship was like, this was a year ago. We've already discussed this. Me and him, stronger than ever. You, lonely, at home, trying to push a narrative. It was funny because it was like, okay, the whole, oh, I'm trying to push a narrative, you're just trying to push a narrative talk was interesting because it is kind of credible, you know? Netflix puts together stories that warp reality for people's entertainment, you know? But at the same time, Netflix had to go off of something. Yeah, like all of these fake apologies, all of these pandering to the public explanations are so odd. They're so odd because it's weird when you are seeing these people be like, I need a minute. I just need a minute. Now let me say everything that is expected of me to say just so that I can win back public opinion, even though I'm not going to win it back. It's funny because it's like, we all know what you're doing and it's not sincere and it's weird. Moral of the story of this whole entire thing is like, if you go on a reality TV show and you become a villain and you're just like a bad natured person, like Irina, in my opinion, or like Jackie, in my opinion, you just have to play the game and play into it. And that's why I said, like, Irina should have just come on and been like, the girls who are gonna get me, get me. And the girls who don't. I mean, I like it. It's fun. I like to shake things up. I like to be a little toxic, is what it is. I mean, I feel like Jackie kind of did that. And I respect her more than I respect Irina's little like sympathy plea, you know? Because it just was like, what the hell? What are we doing here? Oh, speaking of cop out, Irina blaming her bad behavior or blaming things on mental health. Really? Really? We need to be sensitive about the whole mental health talk because I feel as though that is the direct definition of weaponizing a term. Like you're saying, I had mental health struggles, I suffer from this, I blah blah blah. And that's why I am the way that I am. So sympathize with me. It's like everything we're talking about is not out of, you can't blame your mental health for things that are like in your full control, like you teasing other people, you bullying Zach, all of that. Like whatever, they already had this conversation on the show. I don't want to rehash it. Okay, I want to talk about how Marshall Marshall was kind of disrespected on this because it's the way that Jackie didn't show up, got to speak her piece, got to look like a happy little disgusting couple with Josh. And then Vanessa was like, ah, you were so happy, we're gonna get babies. And then turned around on Marshall and was like, what do you think about that? Instead of being like hard on her or like legitimately just hosting and being a critical host, like somebody from the Bachelor podcast said. They're treating her like she was J-Lo. They're treating her like she's this prized possession that they can't fumble the bag with. So they need to be like very sympathetic and very kind to her. It is wild, the edit that she got, the treatment that she got for that. And a little bit of me honestly was thinking maybe they're being nice because she's getting death threats and people don't like her. Maybe her mental health is dwindling. But I was like, no, no. A woman like Jackie, one, like, it doesn't care about that. Like, a woman like Jackie does not even need to be catered to. Like, she can take a tough question. She can. And then also, the show does not care about people's health and well-being if they didn't have a therapist on it. Like, they're not even just a therapist if they don't have resources for the contestants. So why would I think to myself, why are Nick and Vanessa being so nice to Jackie? It's probably because blah, blah, blah. There is no reason. Nobody knows the reason. There will never be an answer provided. It just is upsetting to see somebody who was so unkind be treated so kindly. If honestly, okay, I feel bad though because I was getting a little bit annoyed with Marshall. I was getting annoyed with Marshall during the reunion because I felt like he was stumbling over his words. He didn't really know what to say. It kind of started in one place and ended off another. I get it, okay? I do it all the time. If I was Marshall, this is how I would play it. What I would say, instead of doing the whole, like, we don't need to talk about it, but let's talk about it. Like, instead of doing that, which is what he did, I would play it as, okay, there are a lot of really unfair moments for me. I did not mean to call Jackie a project, which is something they also forgot to talk about. The hell? I didn't mean to call Jackie a project. I just felt very frustrated in the moment. It was a sad, horrible human moment that I'm very ashamed of and really hate to watch back. As much as I don't excuse my behavior because I am ashamed and I'm not proud of it and I'm embarrassed and it brings shame to my family. It is very hard to be kind and loving and respectful to somebody who does not recognize your efforts. And this is where the audience would clap because, like, that's a pretty powerful line. I tried so hard to respect Jackie and to be a loving, kind person to somebody who was not loving and not kind and was disrespectful, especially because when it came down to me going to try on my tux to see if what I wanted to wear to marry this woman. When I was at that precious day, this woman didn't even offer me a text. Didn't even think to mention to me, "Hey, I'm having second thoughts." Do you know how hard it is to communicate with somebody who cannot be communicated with? But it is hard to respect somebody who does not respect you. That's exactly how I would play it if I was Marshall, for real. So upsetting that Vanessa went after him so hard. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave it at that. That's what Marshall should have done. He fumbled the bag with that one. He really did. Okay. Micah's appearance. I really do. This is such an interesting. As much as Paul and Micah were not that interesting of a couple, like honestly, they were like good reality TV because they provided the one no of the season that we got. That was very interesting about them. Um and like there's some things about their relationship, some traits about their relationship that are kind of like, let's think about that. I am very interested in Micah being seemingly the angel of her friend group because I don't think that Micah herself is an angel. I just think that she's a wolf in sheep's clothing because she surrounds herself with such trash people. And like we say, you are the company that you keep. And I truly do believe that. And for her to be like defending Shelby and then for Zach to hit back and be like, you didn't defend Paul once. Like, this is supposed to be your fiance. What the hell? It is such a villainous, such a, like a, I don't want to say bad person. Mike is probably a good person, but it is such a cop out. A cop out for you to be like, well, were you there? Were you? You weren't there. So how would you even know? How would you even know? That's such a cop out to say. Like, you could say that about anything. You could say that about anything with any story. Because then it makes it impossible to respond. It's like, yeah, no, I wasn't there. Yeah, no, you weren't there. You weren't there. But it's like, honestly, just judging from your character, I brought that up for like a reason. It doesn't all of a sudden make you a good person because I wasn't there and I could have seen you defending Paul. Like, yeah, I feel like Micah may just not be a good person, and she looks like a kind of like a fragile, like sweet girl, and like comes off very sweet. I think that we are underestimating her and her nature and thinking the best of her because she's like this delicate looking white woman who like seems to be very bubbly and likable, when she's really just probably just isn't that great of a person. Speaking of blonde white women, Chelsea be looking good. Okay, Chelsea, really, I feel like in a year, it's rare for like a 30-year-old to go through such a glow up. But I honestly feel like we saw Chelsea really transform in the way that like the looks that she pulled out outside of the pods were phenomenal. And at this reunion, she looked the best. I put that on everything. She looked so good. I'm so proud of her. And oh my god, like I love her. I was gonna say I love her and Kwame's matching coordination. I don't love it because I don't love them, but I do. I love the looks that she was giving. I also loved her wedding hair. I did. I loved her wedding hair. I love her sense of individuality. I love that she's like very strong. I just really like her. Speaking of another person that I really like, Zachary. Zach. I love that Zach was like the designated truth teller of this whole entire thing. It was amazing. It was like amazing because he was so like nervous and anxious and you can tell and you like feel bad for him. Honestly, like I was also a little bit shocked because he's a lawyer. So he doesn't have to speak and be convincing for a living. So his like nerves coming onto the show was something I didn't quite understand that much because it seemed like everybody else was like a little bit more like calm and collected, but he just was kind of like, I don't know, shaking, and it was more endearing than it was embarrassing. There are some people, when like, it's like embarrassing for them to be nervous, but I felt like his was more endearing. I love that Paul was just calling people out and just being like, you know what, Micah, you're fake. You know what, Irina, you're trying to be famous. And honestly, like, I really don't fault people for coming on TV and trying to be famous because that's what it is, okay? You all are all trying to be famous. We're all trying to be a little bit famous. Come on. There's more chance of you coming out with a small semblance of fame than there is for you to have like a successful marriage. So really, I don't blame anybody for coming to this show to be like looking for Instagram followers and Instagram brands. Like that would be so cool, dude. Are you kidding me? I don't blame them. I do blame the way that Irina went about it because she really like was trying to go for villainous energy and was going about it the wrong way. That's the only thing I blame about Irina, but I don't care if people are coming on here trying to be famous. People who try to be famous on TV shows make really good TV. I'm like going through my notes and things in my head that are just popping up, and this doesn't have like a structure, but I wrote down that Paul and Micah are very much high school, college drama of two people that are clearly not meant to be together, who are kind of like enamored, if not with each other, but enamored with love, and are too scared to let go. And it was really fun watching that play out this season. It was. Micah came dressed to kill. She did. And although she didn't outdress Chelsea, she dressed. She really dressed. Also, I felt like it was very telling that they should not have been together, Paul and Micah, just by the way that they both ways they took the assignment of dressing themselves for this event. Oh my god. Micah's was just very much, that's like the nicest dress she's gonna ever wear, I think. That event was made for her to just try to kill it. And I don't think that there will ever be another event that she'll go to that she'll like top this look. This is so embarrassing. This is so embarrassing, okay? If you've watched my other episode, sucked in by Netflix, referring to everything as an episode. If you watch my other videos, you know that I don't really like Kwame. Honestly, and this reunion made me feel more like turned off by him because he just felt so rehearsed and so calculated. I hate when people start or end sentences isn't right. Or they'll be like, so I was looking at the sky and the sky is blue, right? Like, and I was taking a walk and it was like kind of cold, right? And I just, because it's like, we don't need like an affirmation every couple of sentences that you say. Just like speak and be a genuine person. That, and like he just comes off very overconfident, and I just don't like it. It rubs me the wrong way. But that being said, would y'all judge me if I named my son Kwame? Because I really like his name. I really love the name Kwame. I can't because I'm not Ghanaian, and I think that it might be the Ghanaian name. Oh my god. Can I shut up? I really like his name. Like, I love saying it, Kwame. And I want a little Kwame of my own. The whole, like, Tiffany falling asleep and them constantly making that, like, a thing. Ugh. They deserve so much better. Like, them being that couple this season, they were that couple. And the one thing that was pointed out from the reunion is like, oh, Brett is a baller and Tiffany falls asleep. What a theme. Let's harp on it for like the whole time. It's so annoying. Oh my god. Also, I thought it was really funny when Vanessa was like, you look like a little Disney princess when you wake up. How cute is that? And Nick was like, yeah, Vanessa looks like a little Disney villain when she wakes up, because she was giving Cruella de Vil. Vanessa was giving Cruella. I look like the biggest Vanessa hater. I'm not the biggest Vanessa hater. I think she is really entertaining, but it's just the way that she sympathizes with the people that we hate, and she knows it. She knows it. Ugh. Also, not Bartice's baby. Bartice's baby? What are we doing focusing on that baby? Get him out of here. Ew. Also, just to quote, to cite The Bachelor, because I don't want to bring up a point not credited to where credit is due, but somebody was talking about the fact that, like, you could be the most annoying, one of the most hated people on Love is Blind, Married at First Sight, The Bachelor, whatever the heck, reality TV show, and get multiple gigs and appearances and whatever. It doesn't even matter if you're not likable. As long as you're entertaining, that is what the people want to see, which is so disgusting. I didn't want to see Bartiz on my screen. Ugh, dude. Like, so that's why I really don't fault people for coming on TV, wanting to be famous, because it's like, you're on TV, be famous. You're probably not gonna end up falling in love, so catch a bag, the way that Bartiz is, which is like, Who the heck would have thought that Bartise was gonna make something of himself as a in the reality TV space? I really hoped that it wouldn't have happened, but it is what it is. Like, that's all of my thoughts on Love is Blind, the reunion. It was a letdown. My reaction is late, but so were they. I definitely am going to be watching The Ultimatum Queer Edition. Love that. I actually really do. I'm so excited. But yeah, if you want, you can take a look around my channel. I make, like I said in the beginning, casual content. I'm on my couch in my pajamas in a lot of the videos. But I just uploaded a video that did not do well yesterday, talking about my journey with PCOS. And yeah, if you want to join, come take a look around my channel. If you liked this video, like, let me know that you did too. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or night.